This is the type of game that's so unbelievable to describe, you kind of have to play it. But I'll take my best shot. This is Signalis. Do not go away. So, Signalis. I am baffled. I did not hear about this game before. Why? It's classic survival horror. I usually have my pulse on these things. How did I let this game slip through my eyes? Especially considering it's damn good. The only reason it caught my attention is because it was recommended to me by one of the people on my Buy Me a Coffee page. And since recommending games is one of the top perks there, hell, I'll try it. I'll try any game, especially if it's classic survival horror. And in 3 easy words, this game is horrifyingly weird and beautiful.
You're weird.
Sorry.
Yeah, that was a compliment.
How those 3 things come together, I could never imagine or create something with those 3 words together. I'm even gonna have to break my regular scheduled program of breaking down the gameplay and story, talking about the game's presentation visually and audibly, and then giving my overall opinion. I have to combine the presentation and gameplay to start here. That's the only way I can do this. Signalis sets up the vibe of being really creepy yet alluring just on the first second of booting this game up. The main menu here is downright one of my favorite of all time, and it creeps me out. The way this menu sounds, I don't know. I just literally, I think this is like the creepiest menu I've come across. And that vibe that it gives off continues through the entire game. The story, how the story progresses is hard to describe. I really won't even try here. Signalis does go through a certain selected events that don't give you a lot of information as to the entire picture. You're on this ship, you crash, everything else is filled in with notes, little cutscenes, and the player's own interpretations of what's going on. If you've played Signalis, you could literally tell me 10 different scenarios of what you think's going on, and I would probably believe you. Notes here are so well done because a lot of notes in games are either very long, and listen, nobody reads them. I read books at night, I still don't read the notes. Notes here, I read every single one. They're short and to the point, and they give out a little bit of info. Tiny bits of fragments, not enough for you to complete the whole picture of what's going on. And the cutscenes here are basically the exact same. They give you enough information so you can follow along these string of events and how it's starting, how it's ending, how the middle went. But there's so much up to the interpretation of the player itself. And if you want to get how this game comes across to the player and why I describe it as like extremely kind of creepy, a little horrifying, unsettling, yet still beautiful and alluring, look no further than how the game presents itself in its cutscenes. Seriously, this is how like an average cutscene goes for this game. These cutscenes always remind me of the saying that genius is only like one step away from crazy. Now I have to talk about this. I'm not going to spoil any of the endings at all, but I will talk about what the game has as a fake ending. And I'll start by saying only one other time in my gaming career have I been so shell-shocked, so astronomically turned upside down in the game The Station, a 2-hour game that nobody else has probably played, but it is one of the most memorable game of all time to me, specifically for the ending.
That's when it blew my mind. I was like, holy smokes. This is a game that, because of that moment, even though it has shit gameplay, it's only 2 hours long, this will be remembered.
For the second time ever, I felt the same on the fake ending in Signalis. After a couple minute cutscene, your character seemingly dies and the credits roll. And I was like, what? And then you're booted back to the menu. And I'm sitting there thinking, wow, did I get the bad ending or something? Like, I don't know. So I searched it up. It says there's multiple endings in the game. Luckily I didn't get spoiled in any of them. But then I saw some people posting their results menu. Time played, kills, stuff like that. And I thought, I didn't get any of that. There's no way that the bad ending is so bad that I don't even get a results menu. So I'm looking at the menu and I'm thinking, begin? There's not even an option to load an old file save or just begin? Begin? You can't even like load an old save? So I booted up and I'm thinking, wow, this looks like the first level, right? And very, very slowly and surely, that eerily feeling of this seems familiar, but something's off, crept in. Am I crazy? I literally can't tell if this is new or not. I can't even tell if the game's over. What the fuck? And I started to realize that the game was not over and we're still going. This fake ending was executed so unbelievably well, I couldn't believe it. But enough about the story. Let's talk about the gameplay for classic survival horror. If you like it, you get what you want. Dying means you load your previous save. I've always liked that. Raises the stakes of death. Conserving ammo and health is a top priority. Tight inventory slots that are manageable with the item box in the save room, and a good amount of puzzles here. And a good amount of puzzles, I mean, and when I say this, I'm serious, the best puzzles in a classic survival horror. Hey, that was a good one. Wait, did I fuck up? Okay, no. This is probably more of a personal one because it varies on everyone's mind and understanding of puzzles. But for me, every single puzzle hit the absolute sweet spot of just on the verge of, I don't know if I can get this. And then figuring something out and going, light bulb moment. Okay, so I'm going to go, this could be wild. 3, 2 would be N. 8, 3. 8 is a question mark. What's the one letter I didn't write down? F. And then 3. No way! Man, that's a crazy puzzle. I honestly had such a fun time with the puzzles on this game. For the first time in a long time, since probably Tormented Souls, I was writing down stuff manually on pen and paper to memorize. I know I've already talked a bit about the presentation because I had to combine it to talk about the menu and beginning, but transferring over to really presentation here, let's talk about visually, auditorially. I just love this game. You know, I have always said you don't need major graphics to showcase a game. Like, this is not close to super graphics in any sense. The look of levels was a concern of mine because it was going for this, like, sort of futuristic, I don't know, I guess high-tech, I don't know what you call it. Usually a lot of games in that style have everything seem a little, it can blend together. High-tech stuff usually blends together for me. Still no ammo! But you go through a lot of different looking levels, distinctly different looking levels. And as much as the menu sets the player up to be unsettled for the duration of this game, Everything else, small things included, really help that along. There are cameras in almost every single room that follow the character for absolutely no reason. As far as I can tell, there was no reason. There are no explanation as to why they do this. They follow the character around 24/7.
Watch this. Pussy! Bitch!
This game is very quiet.
Okay, so where am I heading to next?
But the audio can sharply rise when enemies spawn in or you shoot a gun. Like the sound effects here for guns and stuff like that and enemies really pop.
Okay. Yo, gunshots sound real nice in this game. Gunshots like pop.
Because you don't really get the full picture of what's going on in the story itself, combined with the fact that everything seems so quiet and desolate, you just feel out of place like the whole game. Soundtracks do take a hit because of the quietness. There is a safe theme. It's a pretty quiet safe theme, to be honest. So I'll tell you right now, it's not a 10 out of 10 for presentation, but it's above a 9. Overall impact, you know, for survival horror classic spin-offs from Resident Evil and stuff, it's really this or Tormented Souls, I would say, is the best, which is saying a lot because Tormented Souls was really good. But if someone asked me who hadn't played either of these, which one should they play, I would have a really tough time. I think Signalis is going to be recognized as one of the ultimate hidden gems in like 10 years. People are going to be like, man, look at this game. This game was from blah, blah, blah year. I just keep turning around back to how this game tells its story. It is so haunted.
Achtung, Achtung, 3, 9, 4, 8, 3, 9, 4, 8, 5.
But this game isn't perfect. I had a problem with doors.
The door! The door!
For some reason, the pop-up to go through a door would sometimes disappear, sometimes appear. It happened, honestly, pretty frequently. Item management, I will say, was a tiny bit too tight. Just minusculely. You get 6 item slots, so you have to prioritize a gun, maybe some ammo. You also have a tool slot that you can use for your flashlight, a stun rod, a flare. I kind of wish that the tool slot was completely separate from your 6 items, because you can have the flare here and put it here, but it still counts as one of your 6 slots. But something that I did really like was the radio. At any point during this game, you could turn on the radio built into your mech suit or whatever this is, and you can change the frequency, try and find a signal. And a lot of times during random parts of this game, you'll find signals all over the place. Sometimes they'll be used for puzzles, sometimes they'll be used to kill enemies. Overall, using a radio as a tool, kind of never seen that done before. To make this game even weirder, you probably didn't expect this. There are some moments in the game where you play in first person. Again, this is super weird, but super welcomed. First person moments always brought some interesting element.
Oh shit.
Signalis is a game, at the end of the day, that I will not forget for a long time.
come on, I gotta drop down into this thing. I'm dead, man. What? I can't even get back out. I just came through this door. Dude, what the fuck?
But in the moment,
Oh my
I gotta give it a
God.
score, and I'm looking at a pretty high 9.2 out of 10. So that's it. I have been playing some absolute ringers of games lately. I've played Persona 5, Persona 5 Strikers, Crosscode, Signalis. These are all games that got above a 9 for me. But for now, I'm your host, Cyber Player Entertainment. Hope you enjoyed this video. Peace.
I can't see shit, man. What? There's an enemy here? What am I locking onto? It's too dark to see, but I'm shooting in the dark.
What is up? I know what you're thinking. You're only here for the bonus Easter egg soundtrack I put in at the end of every video. But did you also know I have a donation page under Buy Me a Coffee? Donate whatever you want to my channel and I'll put half of that back to an environmental charity. So that's that. Enjoy the music. Peace out.